Hey guys, it's Glenn here from Gearfacts. Today I want to talk a little bit about the evolution of keyboards, a little bit about the old ones, the newer ones, what's changed and what stayed the same, and what needs to change so that we can end up with a perfect home keyboard. Have home keyboards really changed that much? This one was made in 1995. At this stage that's making it about 32 years old. It's the Roland EM25 and really it has a pretty similar feature set to what we see in keyboards now. Around about 200 sounds, around about 200 rhythms. You can do a little bit of sequencing and style editing. You can do a little bit of tone editing as well. And really, that's pretty much it. 61 keys, a whole bunch of tones, and you go ahead and play. If we wind the clock forward a little bit, what have we got now? Same 61 notes. You more often see pitch bend on keyboards now. We also see dynamic controls a little bit more often. Illuminated screens. Generally, you'll see more tones and more rhythms. But have we really moved that far? There are still some ongoing design problems that I see with every new model of keyboard that comes out. Now, I did say just a moment ago that we've had 30 years of home keyboards and not a whole lot has changed, but there have been spikes of creativity. Like this, for example. This is the Yamaha DJX, and it has a range of amazing features that appeared in 1996 and never came back again, like a whole lot of filter knobs. The ribbon controller, which is a really fun one. You can create all kinds of interesting sounds with that. It also had a sampling feature, a great sound palette of contemporary sounds, and best of all, I think, it had a set of rhythms that really reflected the needs of the modern musician. This may look a little bit dated now, but the fact is, they're all electronica-oriented rhythms. We won't have any bossa nova, cha-cha, ballroom, big band, traditional, things like that. I know some people are into those, but let's be honest, Yamaha, most people now are looking for a keyboard to play modern music on, and a good 90% of the styles represented here are probably never going to be switched on by the average user. The same applies for sounds. 8 different types of accordion on one keyboard. I really can't see that the average user is going to need that. Let's focus more on sine waves, pulse waves, sawtooth, all kinds of fun sounds that people are actually going to use in their music, and arpeggios as well. A lot of us can't even play. We really just want to sit in front of a keyboard and just get the best sounds out of it we can, and I certainly fit into that category. So let's see more arpeggiators, more sequences, more rhythms in which we can control the dynamics and the rapid changes and responses that we want to see in our music. The DJX delivered all of that, and it did have a successor, but after that the concept was canned and never seen again. Here's another great design feature that I've come across in the time I've been reviewing keyboards. This is the Korg X50. Obviously it's not a home keyboard, it's more of a pro synth, but let's have a look down at the side here. And look at those handles on the side, the way the body is molded around, and we have an aluminium handle there. Brilliant for carrying these keyboards, for picking them up and putting them down, getting them in and out of tight spaces. An absolutely superb design idea. Once again, canned by the maker. We haven't seen it again since. And yes, this is starting to sound like a litany of complaints, but one thing that all home keyboards have in common that I find really frustrating is that the ports are nowhere to be seen on any model. Why not just put them on the front panel? I really don't think people are too worried about how that might look untidy, because the fact is, if you're playing with an audience, cables hanging out the end of your keyboard looks terrible on stage too. So why not have all our cables nice and accessible, plugs on the front panel, so we can see exactly what's going on without having to reach behind all the time. I can't find it. Oh man, need an adapter. And now a note especially to Yamaha and Casio. Registration memories for sounds that have been created. Here we see it again on the DJX. This is a very flawed system. I've never seen a keyboard where you can name these quick access patches. Exactly the same on Casio. Usually 4 banks of 4 keys in which you can save a total of 16 of your own sounds, and that'll also save other settings such as the rhythm that you've chosen. But you can't name it, and you can't tell which one that you're currently selected on. So if you make changes and go ahead and save them in the wrong place, you will have lost what's in that bank, and you will probably end up with 2 very similar patches stored in 2 separate switches. Please take note, Yamaha and Casio, this is a big problem that needs to be addressed. A lot of these features would cost absolutely nothing to implement, but I think consumers do understand that they will have to pay more for more dynamic controls, more sounds, more rhythms, and for more effects too. Another thing that's often sadly lacking in home keyboards. Regular watchers of Gearfacts will have seen that I've made all kinds of reviews about all kinds of keyboards like these, and I've given a lot of praise and made a lot of complaints along the way. But it will be interesting to see what we end up with beyond 2017 in home keyboards. That's it for this episode, guys. I hope I haven't sounded like I've laid out a whole lot of complaints and problems about what all these great brands are doing with these fabulous instruments. And they are all excellent, but we do have a long way to go, and it'll be really interesting to see what the manufacturers come up with in the next few years. Thanks for watching Gearfacts. I appreciate your comments, I appreciate your likes, and I certainly appreciate your subscriptions. I'll see you next time.